What up guys, hope you had a great weekend because we've got a lot to talk about from the top 5 leagues across Europe. And I think we're at a point now where we gotta talk about who is the best striker in the world of football at this moment. There's some great candidates and I'm gonna be bringing you guys all sorts of stats to help you decide. Those will be cropping out throughout the video, so keep your eyes peeled. Cool? Let's do it. Starting in the Prem, where we saw United lose to Huddersfield, where it became more evident than ever that they desperately need a left back. A natural left back. Chelsea returned to their winning ways after a comprehensive win over Watford, 4-2, and Manchester City continued their insane form with a 3-0 win over Burnley. Since their 1-1 draw with Everton on match day 2 of this season, City have won every single match they have played in all competitions. That's 11 wins in a row, scoring 39 goals and conceding just 6. I know people say, yeah, well, they were good at the start of last season, then tailed off, but come on, they weren't this good. Oh, and shout out to Leroy Sané, who, based on his performances, is easy to forget he's still only 21 and has 5 goals and 4 assists in the Premier League this season. Liverpool fans, how you feeling right now? Are you as shook as Dejan Lovren? Because I mean, Jurgen reshuffled the entire team just to get that guy off the pitch. It's gotta hurt. Ox on the wing, Coutinho back into midfield, Chan to right back, and Lovren anywhere but on the field. And Lovren wasn't too happy about it. He removed LFC from his Instagram display picture, removed LFC from his page description, and blocked all comments on his page, which is probably the first thing he's blocked since signing with the club. I'm sorry. He's had enough. But Lovren does actually bring up a pretty good talking point. In subbing him off in the 30th minute, Klopp sort of said it all. This is the guy who is at fault. I mean, after the match, he did say that he could have taken Joel Matip off as well, and maybe he should have, because the defending continued to be terrible after Lovren was off the pitch, with Matip at fault for the 3rd goal, just putting it on a plate, and then Simon Mignolet at fault for the 4th with another classic flap. So what's up here with Liverpool and their defense? I personally blame Klopp, because I mean, how can you not at this point? Like Peter Schmeichel and Neville said, their defending was naive at times. Something beyond just having decent defenders in there. And like Neville said, again, when you look at Dejan Lovren and his time at Southampton under Mauricio Pochettino, he was probably one of the best defenders in the league at that time. You also have to look at the sale of Mamadou Sakho to Crystal Palace. Now I know that he was late for his flight or something for a preseason tour last season, but when your defenders are so terrible and you have a quality proven now Premier League center back who's done great things at Crystal Palace in his 2 stints there, and was a great defender at PSG, and even did really well in Jurgen Klopp's first season for Liverpool. The management of the defense just seems a little bit shoddy. All summer they were holding out for Virgil van Dijk, and they refused to look at any other center backs. There's gotta be some out there. And he continued to stand by Lovren and Matip. And now it looks like he doesn't have faith in either of them. Anyway, Liverpool now have the unwanted milestone of being just the 6th team to concede 1,000 Premier League goals. That's shocking, given the stature of the club. Or maybe it isn't, because they haven't won a Premier League title yet. So they haven't exactly been at the height of their powers. Reaching that unwanted milestone was thanks in part to Harry Kane, who took his goal tally in 2017 to 45 in just 40 matches. So he's the first candidate for the best striker in Europe right now. Because despite not scoring a single goal in the Premier League in August, he's now the top scorer in the league with 8. And has scored 13 across all competitions, not including what he's done for England. So if you don't think that he is the top striker in Europe right now, then just keep on watching, because there's a few guys that might tickle your fancy. Speaking of no faith, some Everton fans may have lost theirs in Ronald Koeman, as they sit in 18th with just 8 points from 9 matches, only 7 goals scored in that time, and are winless in their Europa League group. Well, the Everton board certainly lost faith in him as they sacked him on Monday morning. Well, it didn't help that they got bullied by the team that everyone else bullies, at least verbally, as Arsenal crushed him 5-2. Rooney did score his 12th Premier League goal against Arsenal, which is more than any other player scored against them. And Nacho Monreal scored his 2nd of the season, which is the most league goals he's ever scored in one season. Pickford, on the other hand, had to make 8 saves in the first half alone, and couple that with where Everton are sitting in the table at the moment, and he may as well still be at Sunderland. Dude's probably having PTSD from last season. Or the last few seasons. And now, without rollicking, Arsenal has now scored more goals against Everton than any other team in the Premier League has managed to do. The previous holders of this coveted title were Manchester United with 96 goals against Everton. But Arsenal have now hit triple figures at 100 goals against Everton. Also, Jack Wilshere got his first Arsenal assist since September of 2014 when he set up Aaron Ramsey in the 90th minute. Pair that with some comprehensive performances in the Europa League and Jack could become a pretty useful player for Arsenal this season. Maybe not integral, but a good guy to rotate in once in a while. Granted, the competition he has faced hasn't been top, but back to the Koeman sacking for a sec. How do you guys feel about it? I personally think that it was premature, just as Crystal Palace's sacking of Frank de Boer was premature. Given that Everton have played a lot of the top 6 opposition already, and have some easier fixtures coming in the next few months, I feel like he should have been given at least another month to try and turn things around. But I mean, when you don't fill the massive 25-goal hole, Romelu Lukaku, what do you really expect? Although a little Lukaku goal or two wouldn't have saved them against Arsenal. Alright, let's switch it up and go to France because it was a very eventful weekend. First, tempers were running hot on Sunday as every single match had a red card, including Neymar getting sent off in PSG's match against Marseille after he'd equaled the score earlier. With his team 2-1 down, he got himself sent off after receiving 2 yellows in 2 minutes. However, maybe it was for the best, as without Neymar on the pitch, Cavani had the opportunity to take the free kick and save the day with an insane strike. He scored 4 in his last 4 matches, already at 15 for the season across all competitions, and people are still slow to give him props. So, what do you think? Best striker in Europe at the moment? He could be, or you could give it to Radamel Falcao, who scored his 13th Liga goal, his 15th across all competitions. We've just got one more striker up for contention at the end in Italy, but we'll get to him later. Shouts to Memphis Depay as he scored his first career hat-trick and he capped it off with a Panenka in Lyon's 5-0 win against Troyes, in which Mariano scored his 10th goal of the season. That dude can't stop scoring. Monaco also won, and with PSG failing to win, they cut their league lead down to just 4 points, so it's looking like it's a little more competitive in France once again. By the way, tempers were also raging in Italy this weekend, as on Sunday, 5 of the 8 matches that took place had a red card in it. Mr. Managiano's Inter Milan couldn't manage a result against Napoli. Well, they did manage a result because they got a draw, which isn't bad. So it's as you were at the top of the table as both teams maintained their perfect records. And speaking of records, Sami Khedira scored his first career hat-trick against Udinese this weekend, in what was a big 6-2 win for Juventus. And also in this match, Mario Mandzukic got 2 yellow cards faster than Neymar even managed to, as he took just 3 seconds to get sent off from 2 yellows. And of course, Ciro Immobile and Lazio grabbed another win, with the aforementioned goal god scoring another brace, taking his league tally to 13, 17 in all competitions. Hottest striker in Europe? What do you think? La Liga! And first off, I want to apologize to La Liga fans, as last week I said there weren't that many interesting stories in the league, when in actual fact, there were a couple of good matches. And one of the teams that won big last week also won big this week, as Valencia continued their great run of form with a 4-0 win over Sevilla. Valencia are undefeated in Spain this season, scoring 16 and conceding just 7 in their last 5 matches. Well, I say just 7, but 7 goals conceded in 5 matches is not the greatest defensive record. But boy, can they score, and one of their players that's been scoring like a madman lately is Simone Zaza, as his last 7 shots on target have all been goals. Lethal. Sevilla has hit a terrible run of form, by the way, as in their last 4 matches in all competitions, they have lost every single one, scored once, and conceded 12 goals. Ooh. Also, this could surprise you, or it might not, to be honest, but Jan Oblak of Atletico Madrid has the highest save percentage of all goalkeepers in the top 5 leagues. Well, those that have made more than 3 appearances. And this will probably surprise you even more, as Leganes have extended their clean sheet run in La Liga to 487 minutes, which is over 6 matches, and they sit in 5th place currently. So they will be a team to watch to see if they can hold on to that place. And finally, Germany, as things are heating up, as Dortmund failed to win for the 2nd match in a row in the Bundesliga, or their 3rd match in a row across all competitions, while Bayern won again under Jupp Heynckes to take them level on points with Dortmund at the top of the table. With their 1-0 win over Hamburg, that was Jupp Heynckes' 18th win in his last 19 competitive matches managing Bayern. The only blemish on that record is a draw from 2013 against Dortmund. Alright guys, that's it for me in this episode. I've got a player bio that needs finishing, so expect that sometime this week. It's a pretty hefty edit. And don't forget to let me know which striker you think is the best in Europe at this moment, but be prepared to back it up. Sound good? Alright, love ya. Bye.